This is the game that I always kind of wanted when I was younger. Back when I was playing Link to the Past, I wasn't gonna buy this game. Echoes of Wisdom. I beat this game. I wasn't gonna buy this game. Let's talk about it. I haven't made a video in a really, really long time. I wasn't really gonna do any more videos on this channel, honestly, but I decided that I wanted to talk about this game because this is kind of the game, right here, one last time, that I always wanted to have as a kid. One of the things that drove me absolutely crazy in my favorite game of all time, A Link to the Past, well, it's up there, it's in like the top 3. I hated how kind of linear it was, or like in the map, you could see where you wanted to go, but you couldn't really get there. In this game, you can get there. So this game kind of combines a couple of different games. To me, it combines like the story of Tears of the Kingdom with game style of like Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, even the new Link's Awakening, with the mechanics of like a Mario Odyssey. In my mind, it kind of combines those, and it does it really well, and it's a lot of fun to play, and you can kind of get wherever you want to, even initially early in the game. It's wonderful. It is wonderful. It's kind of like having a Link to the Past or a Link's Awakening map that you can get to anywhere that you want to because of these things called echoes. And echoes is, I'm not gonna give away the story because the story is probably its weakest link, and I'll talk about that. You come across just pretty much almost every object in the game, and you can learn how to make it. And I thought that was going to be extremely tedious because some of the mechanics in Tears of the Kingdom were extremely tedious, and I got so tired of playing the game. I beat the game. I never went back. I probably never will. It was a good game. I put way too many hours into it. It was not worth the hours I put into it. This game, however, is. Now, I don't know how many hours I played this game. I think it was maybe 10. It wasn't a lot. But you can get, maybe it was 20. I don't know. I should have looked before I played it or made this video. But you can get anywhere you want to. It is amazing. And I know I keep repeating myself, but this is what I wanted as a 13, 14-year-old playing Link to the Past back in the day when it came out, or Link's Awakening when it came out. I wanted this so bad, and now I have it, right? I have it, and I'm so thankful for that. But there's a trade-off to this, and I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. There is a trade-off to this. Now, the game in and of itself is kind of generic, and I started noticing that in the beginning, but it does use some of the music. It does use some of the theme, the storyline almost, from Tears of the Kingdom, and what part of that it uses is kind of the underworld. This is such a more condensed version. This is kind of like the person who will only play side scrollers or only play old games. This is your version of Tears of the Kingdom, and it is a very good version of it because it is much more simplified. You can beat it in probably 20-25 hours, and it's great. You can create just anything. You don't even have to really fight hardly at all. You have your minions who fight for you. So even like the other echoes that you can create is your enemies. Like after you beat an enemy, you can actually replicate that enemy going forth in the game. It's wonderful. The story is something that leaves much to be desired. And one of the things that I noticed is I really didn't feel like I was playing as Zelda in the game. I didn't really feel like I was playing a different character for whatever reason. While, yes, she has mechanics that Link never had. She can jump and all that kind of stuff. And I know Link has been able to jump in different games. It was a different game almost. You knew it was a Zelda game, but it didn't. But it kind of felt like Tears of the Kingdom kind of played like Mario. You didn't quite know what the game was. There's a lot of side-scrolling elements to this game, and it's kind of all over the place. But it does work together. But the story is very generic. And as I'm playing through the game, I'm really not compelled by the story at all. Some of the areas did seem like almost trolly, you know, like the frost levels and some of the, what is it, Deku levels, you know, I don't want to give too much away. They get a little bit annoying, a little bit tedious. Some of the dungeons were a little tedious, but it is kind of nice to have dungeons back. And it isn't dungeons, I don't think, like there were back in the day. Back in the day, I felt like you needed a PhD to beat some of the puzzles that were in some of those. Maybe that was just because I was going into teenage years and I wasn't, you know, as cognitively aware as maybe I am today. This game is fairly easy. I did die a number of times in some of the certain levels, but for the most part, and here's another thing, is you can literally create an echo of a bed. So you can, like in the middle of fighting something, you can create a bed and sleep and recover your hearts and stuff. So it is kind of a free-for-all. And the one thing though I have to say is the story just did not pull me in. And as I'm beating the game, this game, I realized that I just didn't care. Nothing was pulling me in to beating this game. There was no great, like, I really need to beat this. If I never beat it, it wouldn't have bothered me at all. So it's that kind of game, and I don't know if I love that kind of game. I don't really know if I love that idea of that, but the mechanics and the play style were so good that it kind of rescued it. But if you're looking for like a Zelda game that really has an like a pull you in type story, it just isn't there. It just isn't there. I don't know if it's because there's no voice acting. I don't know if it's, I mean, there is. It's the old traditional Zelda, blah, 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 you know, like almost kind of like the Animal Crossing thing. There is that, but I don't know. Like, I will give Tears of the Kingdom credit. It really did have a good story. It really did pull you in. This game does not do that. And I don't know, like, if I remember back to playing A Link to the Past, which is by far my favorite Zelda game, I just felt like there was a story that pulled me in, but this one, it just isn't there. It just isn't there. I was beating this thing that had no, I don't know, it had no Zelda feel to it. Like the final boss, it didn't feel like a Zelda game to me. It felt like a generic version of it that has mechanics that you've always wanted, that you can get anywhere. I mean, you can literally go over the forest areas and stuff like that and get to the other side of the map without having to traverse the whole map. It's wonderful. But the trade-off, unfortunately, is kind of a fetch quest that turns into a game. It kind of just is a fetch quest with dungeons. Especially in the early part of the game, there's so much go fetch this, go fetch that, go do this. I don't know. It's just, if they would have had a great story and these mechanics, this game would be insane. The replay value of this game would be off the charts. But as it stands, mechanically, yeah, it's probably worth replaying just because it's fun to do. But I don't know that you would go through and play the whole game again. I don't know. I don't, why would you do it? And it's so much so that there's actually entire parts of the map that you don't even have to discover to beat this game. I only went through and discovered them because I have like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom like ingrained in me. I'll go find the entire map. But in this one, I was actually going to try to see if you could, how much of the map you didn't even have to discover to beat this game. And it's quite a bit of it, you know? I would definitely play it because anybody who played Link's Awakening or Link to the Past and wanted the ability to kind of just get wherever you wanted to, kind of had the Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom can get wherever you want to life mixed with a overhead Link to the Past, Link's Awakening type gameplay is there. It really is there. But the story, maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm wrong. Leave down in the comment section if I'm way far off base here. It wasn't there. It just wasn't there. Anyway, that is my story with this game, I guess technically my story with this game. If they had added like a compelling story to this, I would just, I mean, this would definitely take over where A Link to the Past. I mean, just even going into Link to the Past, how crazy the beginning of that game is. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't played it, but like it grabs you and it grabs you the rest of the game. There's just a story, even from the person you get your potions from, and like, there's just a story there. This, it's just not there. Anyway, said that enough times. I might make another video, who knows? I think it's been a year since I made the last one. I have made other videos that I just would not publish. So maybe, hopefully this one will. Anyway, talk to you in the next one. Peace.